Hello, Steve White, Trick Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I just watched episode 18 of Star Trek Prodigy Season 1, Mindwalk. Now, this one was interesting. It's another episode in the ongoing story, which the problem with ongoing stories in these sort of scenarios is if you're really not invested in it, it just drags out. Whereas the old Star Trek format, you had a different episode every week. So if you didn't like one story, the next week could be something totally different. Whereas this is just, continuing on. But in this episode, the ship is running away at warp. The Janeway's ship follows them, and Janeway has been knocked out and is stuck in a closet. And Dow, they're still trying to work out how to communicate with them, and they come up with the idea that the Medusan and Dow can use his augment DNA, because one of the species he was spliced with has telepathic powers. So they try and connect to Janeway or reach Janeway. And thanks to a random phaser bolt, they transfer minds or transfer consciousness, or how do they refer to it? Neural patterns. So they swap neural patterns, and basically for the most of the episode, Janeway's in Dow's body and Dow's in Janeway's body. So it's kind of cliche, but I must say the actor who plays Dow did a very good job of doing Janeway, impersonating her. He did a very, very good job. Mulgrew didn't do as good a job of doing him, but she did take it to a broader comedic sort of level, and it was quite funny. There were a few moments I was laughing at it, and she did a good job. So she's running around the ship like a crazy person, and they're all trying to work out what's suddenly wrong with Janeway. And eventually they put her in the sick bay, but the Diviner frees her to make amends and basically pay her back for saving his life. And he seems to have shifted in as far as his role. And they come up with the idea the only way for them to reconnect is to literally connect. So they come up with the idea, because both ships are now in a warp, in the warp corridor or whatever, and they merge warp bubbles, and they come up with the idea of, well, we'll both go outside of the ship and literally touch. They try to do that. Which one of them jumps out? One of them jumps out just into space, and Janeway uses Murph to stretch out and connect, but they can't quite reach because they start pulling Dow back with the tractor beam. So she uses a phaser beam and shoots him, and that way they make the connection. So they transfer. So at least finally someone on Starfleet's side knows about the weapon, and they finally resolved that issue, because I was wondering how they're going to resolve that issue, because they already had them in the same room basically, and Dow ran away instead of just telling her what the problem was and talking to her. So I was wondering how they were going to actually get them in the same environment where they could talk without actually destroying Starfleet or the ship or whatever. So now they've swapped minds. She knows everything. They've told Janeway everything, and now she's gone back and she's back in her body, but she's in the sick bay. But again, all she has to do is explain what happened, and she should be able to resolve it. They've got 2 episodes left. I kind of thought last week they had 2 episodes left. I'm like, no, that was 17. They've got 18, 19, and 20, so they've got 3 episodes left. This was 1 episode, so finally now they've resolved the whole communicating to Janeway, and she realises that she was jumping to conclusions and not being open-minded. And so I guess they'll spend the next 2 episodes sorting it out. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it. They're sort of stretching this story out, and I'd much rather have this situation of them running from Starfleet just being an excuse for them to be out and having individual adventures, instead of this being the story week after week after week. But it was funny. Janeway, Mulgrew did a good job with her. I don't know. It was just funny. She was over the top. It was funny. Dow did a very good Janeway, and there's not much else to say about it. I guess I'll just go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I guess I got 2 episodes to resolve it. I'm not really invested. It's like, we know they're going to resolve it. The stuff is not going to be destroyed. It's just not that interesting. I'd rather have individual stories where they're dealing with, alien races and planets, and you never know what's going to happen. Whereas here we know what's going to happen. Basically, they will either just escape Starfleet and it will continue on another season of this, or they will resolve the issue and, everyone will live happily ever after. And I don't know, Dal can't actually join Starfleet because he's an augment. And that's setting up the whole augment issue, which Strange New Worlds is taking on. But Strange New Worlds is in the past. If they resolved it then, there wouldn't be an issue now. So does that mean they're going to resolve it in the future? Because that does seem to be their cause at the moment. But I don't know. I'm going to go. Feel free to... I said all that before.